if I was to ask you what is the most iconic lawsuit in fast food, a lot of you might say the McDonald's hot coffee lawsuit, where someone burned themselves from a coffee, and a whole dialogue started around that as to coffee is supposed to be hot, all this stuff. But ultimately, they got millions of dollars from McDonald's for being burned. Now Starbucks is in that similar situation. They are getting sued for the same thing, basically tea spilling on some person. But he just actually won that. You can see he won $50 million from Starbucks because of this whole incident. There's a video here of everything that happened. We can see it's like a 30-second video. This is everything that happened, right? You can see the barista putting the I think they're teas, whatever, together, putting the tops on, putting them in the carrier, and then going to give it to him. And through this, you can see he starts to get it. He grabs it, and then not too long after he grabs it, it dumps off and actually dumps on him. The lid came off, and that is one of the focus points for this whole thing, is that the lid came off, basically saying that the coffee or the tea was not properly secured. I mean, could you say, like, I mean, I don't know what else you want to do, right? You want to have screw-on tops? I don't know. But this guy, ultimately, the story gets a little bit more in-depth with Starbucks, right? I don't think anyone feels bad about Starbucks, the billion-dollar corporation, having to pay out because someone got burned. No one's going to be crying over Starbucks, right? But for this incident, it goes a little bit deeper, where apparently he actually was negotiating with them, or willing to settle with them. I think originally they offered him like a few $1 million, something like $3 million to settle it. And he came back and said, you know what? 30 million to settle this. It might have been them offering it, but there was 30 million was the price tag that was thrown out there. And he said, all I want you to do is apologize and then say that you're going to do something in the future to train people to make things better, or make the carriers better, do something to try and make this not happen again. And Starbucks said, no, we will see you in court, buddy. We're not doing that. We're not apologizing for nothing. That was the tipping point for Starbucks, and they lost, right? They lost because ultimately, he said 30 million, or the deal was 30 million, and now they are on the hook for 50 million. But obviously, they don't agree with this settlement. They are appealing it. This is what the someone from Starbucks said, saying, we sympathize with Mr. Garcia, but we disagree with the jury's decision that we were at fault for this incident and believe the damages awarded to be excessive. We plan to appeal. We have always been committed to the highest safety standards in our stores, including the handling of hot drinks. So obviously Starbucks was never going to come and say, oh, it's completely our fault. They really can't do that. I feel like they would get a lot of backlash, and then they'd set themselves up for, different legal troubles maybe down the road. Just not admitting fault is basically the name of the game, right? So they don't want to do that. And that's why they wouldn't settle with the guy before, because he wanted them to apologize, basically admitting fault, and they're not about that. But as for what happened to, I guess the guy's name was Garcia, might be his last name, but basically saying here he was taken by paramedics to the emergency room after the incident and was treated for third-degree burns to his penis, groin, and inner thigh, and he needed 2 skin grafts. So that's 2 penile skin grafts. Can't even imagine that, right? I mean, to put an offer out there, right? One of the things Starbucks is worried about, honestly, is people trying to recreate this. And basically, if they award this 50 million, you'll have a bunch of people taking just drinks from the drive-thru, fumbling around and dumping it on themselves to try and get a payday. But I don't know if that's worth it, right? To completely dismember, or to completely damage your penis for life, I don't know if that's worth it, right? Maybe if you're like in your 70s or 80s and you're like, you know what? We can get $50 million to the grandkids. I mean, maybe it's worth it at that point, but I don't think it'd be worth it, even 50 mil, to completely destroy yourself. I mean, I wouldn't do that. I know there's definitely people out there that probably would, but that's what they're probably worried about. I don't see the reward in that. I mean, I don't know what dollar amount you have to put on that, but it's 50 million doesn't seem like the right amount to basically end your life with your cock. And if we look into the things that his lawyer said, his side, it's basically what you would expect, right? Saying, he sued him, whatever. His attorney, in a press release, said his life's been changed forever, which, I mean, yes, it absolutely has. No amount of money can undo the permanent, catastrophic harm he suffered, but this jury verdict is a critical step in holding Starbucks accountable for flagrant disregard for customer safety and failure to accept responsibility. And honestly, he's probably right about that, right? They definitely don't want to accept responsibility. They don't want to get people to do this, even though I don't know how big of a venture that would be. But they're not going to take responsibility. They're not going to say sorry. They don't want that on their plate. They're not about that. They'll give you 50 mil, but do not make them say sorry. That's across the line. But clearly, the jury agreed with this guy Garcia, that he should get $50 million. No one's going to cry over Starbucks having to pay out $50 million. And I'm kind of shocked that there's not so much more dialogue around, oh, it's supposed to be hot. Like, I remember the McDonald's one, and people would say when that was happening, like, what is this? Is she serious? You're getting burned from coffee. It's hot coffee. Of course it's hot. If you dump it on yourself, you're going to burn yourself. Like, I feel like there was a lot more outrage with the McDonald's one, but with this one, I don't think anyone cares. Maybe people are fed up with companies and corporations basically saying, don't care if it's supposed to be. Taking money from billion-dollar corporations is always a good thing. That might be what people's end goal here is, but I do not think that the career of dumping hot, scalding liquids in your lap is going to be one many people take on. I know I wouldn't. But yeah, that's the Starbucks lawsuit. They're out $50 million, and they will not admit anything. They'll not say sorry. It's not their fault. That's going to do it for this video. As always, subscribe and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.